huge for us, but also our squad has returned to something like 4 weeks ago. We've got more bodies at training. We feel the confidence is a little bit higher in the air because we've got those extra bodies back. So I think today's going to be a good arm wrestle, but we're confident. We're at home. We're going to put the right things in place to give ourselves the best chance.
It's certainly getting tight in the Greene King IPA Championship, and with other results over the weekend, it's about winning today, really, isn't it?
Well, it is. I've talked all week. I said this is going to be, the pinnacle, the crossroads. This will determine what lies in store for us for the rest of the season. If we don't win today, mathematically it's out of our hands. So for us, it's important that we get out there and we get a win. And if there is a time where we look for that bonus point, if there is a time, we may have to look at it. But the first priority is to get our teeth into it and get a win.
A couple of dual registered boys back from the Chiefs this week. How's the team felt going into it?
Yeah, well, as I say, having the squad return to something similar to 4 weeks ago, having those players come back off a very successful LV, and they're full of confidence. The guys have responded well in training, having them back. Also, a couple of guys coming back from international duty. So for us, it's made a big difference this week.
Go well. Well, Dowie, I don't know whether that's pirating weather or not. The sea out there is certainly chopping up a bit to go right with the wind that's coming up to our gantry here. But we can have a look then at the teams for this afternoon's match.
First line out.
As the crowd get themselves in position for what should be a great encounter. And let's have a look at the Cornish Pirates starting 15. Make a few changes following the loss to London Irish last weekend. Dual registered local lads Tom Hendrickson and Max Badilli are back fresh from Anglo-Welsh Cup final action for Exeter Chiefs into the centre and left wing respectively. At fullback, Toby May makes his 50th club appearance, while another change at fly half sees Lawrence May slot back in regulation. He notched up 20 points in that corresponding fixture in November. The forward back's unchanged from last week, with number 8 Tom Duncan no doubt keen to put in a shift, as he did at Castlefield as one of 3 try scorers on that day. Now for Doncaster tonight, well, Clive Griffiths hoping 3 wins on the bounce can become 4 as he leaves things unchanged in the starting 15 from their win against Yorkshire Carnegie. Full Jarvis at fullback, Mark's appearance at 101, while in front of him last week's man of the match centre Andy Bullen-McCow will hope he can repeat his double try scoring antics. The halfback combo of Heaney and Humberstone, well, Pirates fans, they're not going to want to hear this because they've won every game they've started together in 2017. In the pack, Michael Hill skippers the side, with news this week of Matt Challoner having put pen to paper on a contract extension, and Aaron Carpenter there, a former Pirate, at number 8. And looking at the benches then, well, you've got Will Cargill, who made way, of course, for Lawrence May to start. He'll be looking to make an impact. The younger Andrew brother Jack, and Josh Caulfield, who returns from England under-20 Six Nations duty, of course, at winning that Grand Slam as England under-20s did. And for the Knights, well, there's a former Pirate amongst their ranks on the bench in Alex Shaw, and also young Maximu, 21 years of age, dual registered with Leicester Tigers. Dowie, you'll have been all over that England under-20s campaign in the Six Nations. They were dominant.
They were absolutely fantastic, yeah. A bunch of lads. I remember the under-18s coaches, Fletch, was telling me, you watch out for these guys. When I did the champ in Manchester, when they won the junior crown under Martin Haag in the summer, and they've come through. And actually they played their best game against France. France, you could say, didn't turn up, but they absolutely put them to the sword. But again, it's a progression, the pathway England rugby like to call it, and it's a well-trodden path, and it's just brilliant to see these youngsters just exhibiting great skills and enjoying it. And that's what it is in this professional world, what it's changed into, or professional sport. It's the enjoyment that they show.
How much do you think the conditions are really going to play a part this afternoon? Because obviously we've mentioned the wind a couple of times. It's sort of coming in off the Celtic Sea. It's just sort of opposite to the right of our commentary position. Do you think it will affect things differently in each half? I
think it will, yeah. Players are going to have to stand closer together. It sounds the obvious, but they all have to stand closer together. The passes will have to be harder. So you're never going to, I don't think you see that much dexterity of pass, because it'll have to be, catch first, think second. And I think the fly halves and scrum halves are obviously going to have to box kick and positional kick very accurately for the forwards. But it's unfortunate because it's a dry day. It's a beautiful day apart from the wind, and I've never commentated in a wind tunnel before, but there's a first us for everything. But again, both sides love to throw the ball around. I think Doncaster are a better side when they play off the cuff almost rugby, and Pirates have a lumpy pack as well as do Doncaster, but they've got some great talent out wide.
Yeah, it was certainly good getting the feeling from both of the coaches that there is going to be no quarter taken or given, asked or given here. It's all about the win, as we mentioned those cliches, but it is wins with bonus points that they need in order to keep up that pressure. Yes, London Irish might be away at the top of the table, but as we saw in the table, it's all to play for underneath.
Well, Alan Pave said that in the week, didn't he? And you said in the interview, it is a must-win game. But if they don't win today, they've got no chance of getting in the top four. As we see Doncaster Knights coming out, so and equally for them with Jersey winning, as I reiterated, you know, they know they've got them at home, they've got Irish at home. A victory today, I think they're guaranteed. A loss today, and they're scratching their heads again.
So 9 of the Pirates 15 started that game in November. 7 of the Doncaster 15 did, as we see Doncaster make their way out onto the field.
The minute silence.
And
all right, we'll let you go.
Just await the entrance of the Pirates.
If you could like yeah, you see what we do before the game.
So it is, of course, a 50th appearance for Toby May, and he gets the chance to lead out the Pirates. Spoken to a few players about that moment, and in the modern era, there are very few of them that like it, Dowie.
You don't quite know what to do. You're on your own. You want your mates around them, but I think we will in a moment. We're just going through the procedure of the photos for the ball boys, which is great, and then I believe we're about to have a minute's silence for obvious reasons.
Yes, indeed. Following that attack in Westminster during the week, we are going to take a moment to obviously pay our respects to those who lost their lives in that, and also, of course, to remember the efforts of the emergency services.
Focus, let's switch on, let's go from the start.
Well, just the odd noise of an adventurous seagull or two, no doubt eyeing up a couple of chip butties, or more likely a pasty, which I'm pleased to say we were able to sample before the game, and the culinary expertise of Cornwall was not lost on us. So we're getting ready then. It's going to be Cornish Pirates who get us started, kicking from right to left. Great to have your company wherever you're watching.
Matthew, you got me.
And it's Matthew O'Grady who is our man in the middle.
Michael. Chris, good to go. Time you're on, lads.
All set to go then. Sun at their backs, the wind at their side, and Exeter Chiefs get us started. Big first carry and straight over the first tackle. That was good from Ben Hunter, and then the next carry from Challoner.
First man clear.
First in.
You were fine, but he let you get to the ball by being on the wrong side.
Yeah, pretty good start. Carpenter taking the ball in, setting it up, and first of I think a few penalties, it's going to be pretty cagey, and that's a mistake straight away there from Doncaster tonight. They've got to find touch.
Yeah, Toby May taking that right on the touchline and decides to take that straight down to the opposition 22. Now it comes up, it could almost be caught by Dowie in our commentary position.
If it was a few
foot higher, yes, but again, missed opportunities, and I think this is the early start to the game, obviously, but again, you've got to make the most of what you're given. That was a penalty that really needed to go into Rowe's head, give your forwards a bit of food for thought. Unfortunately, you know, obviously Cornish Pirates now with the ball.
It's away from Alex Day. Gets it away again through May, onto the 10-metre line. Looking to come back the other way now. May again. Little carry around the back from Parker. Looking for that little pot of forward to try and pop the ball up to, and well, Danley was almost on his own for a moment there, but the support did arrive, and then they come round the corner again, and it's the Pirates skipper Chris Morgan who makes the next carry, and they've almost managed to isolate Tyson Lewis out the back there, but it is now Lewis who gets his hands on the ball, and well, he scored that first try in the game in November, popping up on that left side and just scooting into the corner.
That's the ball.
Michael Heaney just a little bit late to arrive there, but in fact it's he's helped out by his forwards, and Lewis happy to carry on his 21st appearance for the club. And now Doncaster looking to try and find a bit of room on the outside again, which they managed to do, and well, the throw back in field from Glenn Young just found the hands of de Batista, who kept it alive.
That's the way Doncaster like to play when they do go wide. They put a big lump on the outside, normally a back row, but in that chance Young unfortunately tried the offload and didn't really need to do it, so they're trying to go on the wide outside, get round the edge. And then we just calm things down a little bit.
Decision making is going to be key with the wind out here as well today.
It's difficult for those at home watching this. It's literally going a little bit from left to right, but almost diagonally across the field, if that makes any sense whatsoever. So I don't know whether it's a massive advantage. I think it would be an advantage to the Knights at the moment. Again, we will see.
Right, yours, lad.
It's almost if the pitch was shifted 90 degrees that
it
would be even more an advantage.
Okay.
Referee just wanting to calm things down at the line-up, make sure that
staying on the assistant referee,
even the team with possession,
we've got to have him on the assistant referee,
first of all.
and you've got to stay on your mark, please, on the line. Thanks, Simon.
Paul Andrew, older of the brothers with Jack, moves to the back and was instrumental in the lift, and then Danley gets it away quickly, and it comes through Day up over the halfway line. Doncaster trying to get the bodies to turn that around or get some hands on it, which they don't manage to, and Day pops it away again to Parker. Played in the second row in that November win, Parker. Now they've just flooded a few more men down this left-hand channel. Hendrickson doing his best to come across, but now Doncaster are looking to try and hold it up. Calls of Maul, Colin Quigley in there, Young as well. Pirates desperately trying to get some go forward on it. They are told that is their first time to use it. I think Doncaster would rather the decision had come a little earlier.
I think Colin Quigley's ribs wish the referee had blown that one up as well. I think they will still get that decision unless the Pirates have done a brilliant job. No, it's part of, I think Les Kiss introduced this, didn't the Irish coach when he was Irish coach? And it's part and parcel of the game now. If you don't get to the ground quick enough, you get held up. And that was good defending from Doncaster.
I was commentating on the Roslyn Park School Sevens this week. There were a few schoolboys who had cottoned onto that rule as well.
Again, it's another thing to think about when you're attacking. If you get you in the wrong position or you try things, the defending side just gets underneath your ribs, underneath your arms, and holds it up. But that was a good gun tackle. Young was in there. Obviously, Colin Quigley was in there. Mills, the captain. And then again, just diffused that move. But it's interesting, they're using Duncan a lot, the Pirates in the midfield. He's talking to Gavin Cattle back in that round 10 game in November. A lot of people have been sniffing around. Premiership clubs have been sniffing around. He's a big unit, but he knows what to do with the ball.
Certainly that time of year, and a lot of the contracts are being re-signed by players. Championship clubs keen to hold on to the talent that they've got.
Yeah. One good thing from the Pirates' point of view is they've got a lot of young talent that are staying, so they, at least the coaches can build, for next season already almost, and obviously add one or two if they can do it. But key area. Sorry, Nick, there's a key area of the game, obviously scrimmaging. With experience that Doncaster have, they'd like to get an upper hand. They did last week against Yorkshire Carnegie early doors.
Well, it's Colin Quigley on the near side who's just turned in, but the referee, well, he's given the penalty Doncaster's way.
Loose head straight to knee.
Couldn't get a decent square scrummage on, and Quigley, he's getting a start, having come off the bench in the last 3 matches.
Obviously, I'm an expert at scrums, as you can see, but it's a mess basically. But the referees decided that the Pirates are a bigger mess than Doncaster.
You got a shout from his assistant on the near side, I'd say.
It is a scourge of the game, though. Again, the speed they take to set these things slows the game up. I know there's a safety element, but they do take the time. And equally, when the ball goes in, it's another mess. But anyway, moving on.
Ben Hunter with the line out, it's taken down and it's away through Heaney, and then instead of Humberston, it's Lloyd Hayes who makes the carry, and he's managed to get carried by his teammates, giving the support just that extra metre or two along the floor. Did the referee decide that one went forward? Certainly the home fans wanted to suggest that it did, and Challoner with just that little knock forward as he tried to gather it.
Yeah, big Matt Challoner and the wide outside. Unfortunately, again, this the problem with the wind. The ball's gone behind him. Big bust by Lloyd Hayes, but Challoner want to make up for the yellow card that he put his team under pressure last week against Yorkshire, down to 13 guys for what, 5 or 6, 7, 8 minutes at the end. They held on, and Director of Rugby, Supreme Coach, as here, Clive Griffiths, jumped up in the air and bust his Achilles, broke his Achilles on the way down. He thought someone had kicked him from behind, but he didn't.
You've been trying to put him in a wheelchair all morning, haven't you?
He's in the dugout there. He's been putting the cones out on one leg. Love him.
Surely you should be putting them on the pitch. In the meantime.
Nice blindside here for the Pirates, though. Alex Day, will he expose it? Duncan going up. No, they get a free kick instead.
Early engaged from Doncaster. Chance to kick this one into that prevailing wind that's coming across on the right side as far as the Pirates are concerned. No, he's opted to give it some height instead, and cause a bit of a question for Paul Jarvis, but Jarvis has dealt with it brilliantly. Away from Heaney. Next carriers from Young. Heaney. Humberston tried the big over the top pass. It came forward off a Pirate's hand, but play continues while Doncaster still have possession.
Your man on top. Advantage is over.
Cutting back against the grain. Quigley involved. Pirates got to get themselves out of the way, which they do, away from Heaney again, and now Humberston's look to try and look for this far corner. It's bobbling towards that right touchline. Oh, it's turned into a superb touch finder into the corner, but it's been taken quickly. And Badilli was alert enough to ensure that Pirates could take as much of a quick advantage to get yards back on that initial kick.
Well, I think, Nick, that's the first time we've seen the strength of the wind, and Humberston is a very educated 10. He played very well last week. Pushed his forwards around the paddock, and you can see he used the wind tremendously. Look at this, just kept it low, kept it underneath.
You're going to get time.
Can't read it with the fullback. That's unfortunate for May. Goes there, but the quick thinking from Doncaster Pirates, in it goes, and at least they get about 20 metres back from that kick. Superb.
Max Badilli, one of the dual registered players with Exeter Chiefs, of course, featured in that Anglo-Welsh Cup final loss to Leicester Tigers. Aaron Major's piece of silverware before, of course, he departed the club. It's Ben Hunter carrying forward for Doncaster Knights. This their best position with ball in hand. Comes to the left through Heaney again. Humberston just got caught. Heaney now breaking right. Thought he might have spotted a bit of daylight round the side of the ruck, but instead it's just going to be carried and put to ground by the skipper, Michael Hills, former London Welsh, of course. And then Hunter ships it on to Quigley, who's got a bit of room to move into.
Quigley fancies himself as a fly half.
Tell me a prop that doesn't. It's loose out the back. Oh, big collision in midfield there, as Glenn Young was trying to ensure that Doncaster held on to the ball, but it's back on the Pirates' side now. Day, and off to May, who gets it downfield. Humberston was the one who's back there. Those sort of long passes might have their own challenge, but Jarvis gets it high, and it's drifting over towards this near side as Toby May gets it.
Hold two. Yeah, run 5.
Now the chance to counter-attack run, and Aaron Carpenter relished that chance.
Yeah, the ex-Pirate going to rise to the cheer from the crowd there. He was brought to the ground. But again, they're interspersing the kicking with a bit of running. But again, if you kick accurately, you'll save a lot of sort of juice in the tank.
Humberston again away to Challoner. Started every game of their promotion winning campaign 3 years ago. Challoner, he's a big part of what the Doncaster Knights like to do well. Big front pack and units that they are. Now Badilli with a little bit more time inside his 22, hoping the wind's going to do the work for him, which it does. If there was no wind, that would have landed about 8 metres infield.
Simon.
That's a tremendous kick. Again, he's an excellent athlete when the ball goes in the air. He's marshalled everything, but actually kicking against a very tricky wind, he's done superbly well on both three or four occasions.
Doncaster have tried to be cute and take that one quickly, but
down the line
not having it.
But coming back to Doncaster's kicking down, they're trying to keep him down in Coffin Corner, but because of May's play, they're not able to sustain some pressure down there.
Yeah. We're having it again.
Where's it going? Into the middle in the end.
Ball.
Challoner.
Ball.
Playing second row, he can slip to the back row if he's needed to.
Okay.
Happy club news for Doncaster Knights fan that he re-signed this week, but now they're looking to come down the blind side. Heaney with the little chip through. Toby May comes forward. Puts another one of those kicks down, and Jarvis is going to have to be well positioned, which he is. Just watches it to that touchline. Now fancies his chance to get around May, and it's a solid run and 15-metre gain from Paul Jarvis. 22nd appearance of the club. Nice little slip pass from Quigley, and then he's there for the wraparound. It's certainly a feature of Doncaster's play that as they go down the back line, you find a row of forwards.
Yeah, they have a well-balanced from their point of view, that isn't very good. They do all the hard work. Jarvis again, he's a live wire. Scanlon used to be the sort of preferred 15 last year, but he's not making the grade at the moment. Loss of form. But Jarvis on his 101st appearance, I think I'm right in saying, because he got his 100th last week. I'm good at maths. He loves to counter-attack. He's not the biggest of lads, but he keeps his legs pumping, and what he does, he gets in front of the forwards, and that then allows some of the forwards to go out into the midfield to hold some lines out there. But this is going to be a difficult kick, I think.
Yeah, Lawrence May on his 71st appearance is fancying, well, it might be seen later in the game as this one being a bit of a sighter, but that takes nothing away, of course, from his skill at aiming to slot this one.
Well, I'm just watching as he lines this up. Buki Boone, the Canadian international's had a bit of treatment. He took a knock early on. I think he's fine. He's just waved the physio away. So this will be a good kick. I know he knows the ground very well, does Lawrence May, but he's going to have to start this out. He's going to have to start this on the right-hand side.
In our eyes, please. Yeah.
And move it in, because that's the way the wind's blowing, unless he keeps it very low.
Curling around, it's stopped short. Check the compass. Check the compass long enough, but perhaps the distance was more the issue.
Check your Pirates compass. They didn't have compass in Pirates. Anyway, what I was saying is, it came true. It was a very adventurous kick, but what it does, it still keeps Doncaster down in the 22. They've still got to get out, and at the moment the conditions are dictating, really.
Yeah, they certainly are. Lovely sunshine. I don't know whether it'll be sunburn or windburn that Lowie Morris and I come away with at the end, but in the meantime...
I haven't got much protection, you've got more than me.
It's away. Pirates sensing a chance to put a little bit more speed onto it, but it ended up being man and ball as Lewis made the hit. Loud blast on the referee's whistle. There was a bit of a high shot that slipped up. I think it'll just be a penalty and no more.
And that's Clive Griffiths' rush defence, smash defence, whatever, out to in. And Tyson Lewis is one of the best at that. He picks his time. And the only way really to defend a rush defence is to keep hitting on the inside arm. Easier to say than do. But they were coming back. They were playing a shot to nothing. So again, Lawrence May this time doesn't go for goal. Pops it into the corner. I would think.
21-year-old Jack Inard then for the Pirates. Truro-born hooker Played a bit of A-League and Anglo-Welsh Cup with the Exeter Chiefs when he was dual registered there. And a bit of England under-20s. Safe with the arrows on an opportunity for Pirates to potentially get a rumble on. And it starts to crab in field. There is a penalty advantage from having brought that maul down, and then the little chip through for May. Oh, is it going to sit up, and was he maybe held back there as the ball got down for Hendrickson? Referee says it was held up. Almost a suggestion he was played before he got the ball there, but we were coming back for a penalty anyway.
Well, I think the Pirates got away with that because as bookie boom went up, Chris Morgan, the captain, got in front of him, so there's an obstruction there. It wasn't seen. This goes through. There is a pullback, isn't there? Buller Macau, I think he does pull back. The referee goes back for the first infringement. The line button on another day, he could have been in trouble.
Well, they set up the last maul and made about 4 metres before it was brought to ground. They're now only 5 metres from the line, and it's brought down, and it'll be shifted innards at the back. It started to rotate. They're doing their best to communicate so that they can try and find that way to the line. The referee's going under the posts regardless. Well, a statement of intent from the Pirates has resulted in the referee understanding how they were trying to get to the line and saying Doncaster Knights were stopping them illegally. It's a penalty try to open the scoring at Mennaye Field.
Well, Matthew O'Grady, the referee, not messing around, and sometimes I admire that from a referee. If he's seen something, a deliberate foul, why start it again? He's probably going to go a yellow.
Yes, it's Glenn Young who's going to have 10 minutes.
There you go. So it goes. Well, again, it's good, positive refereeing because they know even if Doncaster get a chance, then if the other side, the Pirates, do the same, they should get the same repercussions. So Young goes off. If they lose a try, they lose a big forward. Good start for the Pirates.
Conversion is good from Lawrence May. So Cornish Pirates, after a couple of visits into the Doncaster Knights 22, who have come away with that penalty try on all 7 points.
And this is it from the other angle. What can you say? It's been deliberately brought down on 2 or 3 occasions. Can't quite see. Young is there with the headband at the back. He was the initial one, I think, that brought it down. That's what the referee have seen. And then, like I said, he's not messing around. He's made a positive decision. The try is given, or the penalty try has been given and awarded. 7 points up. And worse for the Knights, they're down to 14 men. With the wind advantage, I would say.
Yes,
Stop talking about wind.
No.
There's a chicken over there laid the same egg twice. Is that windy?
Penalty, Pirates not rolling away, having got into the tackle, and
oh dear.
Doncaster are enjoying the opening quarter of the match with Matthew O'Grady.
And that's Michael Hills, the captain, who's allowed to have a word with the referee. But if you talk to the referee in a in a naughty manner, which he just did, hopefully he didn't hear it at home, wasn't too rude, but it was cheekily done. The referee's not having any of it, and well done.
He's gone back for a second bite at the cherry here. He's having a conversation with it.
The referee has now said, you can speak to me now. Yeah. You can speak to me nicely.
Yeah.
Right, Doncaster, you've been hit in the solar plex a little bit. Can you get out of here? Because you don't want the Pirates to start building the league, because they've got, like I said, they've got a big lumpy pack. They've got a good set of halfbacks, and they're on home soil.
They're going to try and get another drive on here, and certainly there won't be any change in the tactics, knowing that they've already got the referee on their side for this driving maul. But looks for a moment like Alex Day might be asking his forwards to give him the ball. It's gone to ground, and more legally this time. Well, Doncaster have had an opportunity to get in on that ball, largely because when there was no need to take the Doncaster man over the ball, Pirates had pulled them over and actually blocked off their own scrum half getting to it. So we'll try and have another look at that if we can. And the box kick is made. Curious moment that.
Very curious, and not a very good box kick actually. Again, it was pressure was on. And he just take a step back to the halfbacks, Heaney and Humberston at the moment.
Away with Pirates anyway, but it wasn't straight at the line.
Well, 20 minutes in, first quarter. I think Pirates will take it quite easily. Not a great deal of free-flowing rugby, but we thought that, unfortunately, with these conditions, you're not going to have, you know, 15-20 metre passes going to hand, because it is very, very strong. Sorry to go on about it, but you can't obviously see that at home watching this. But it's the side that reacts and adapts, isn't it, to the conditions better.
It'll get interesting as they start to tire a little later as well, when you don't need quite as much space to find as you do at this stage of the game, when everyone's got a full tank. Heaney, Irishman, in a second spell with the Knights, having rejoined the club after some time at Ulster a few years ago, and then stepping inside. Hayes, Buller-McCow in there making the clear out, and then a nice little shorter ball. Wanted someone on the run inside, and Ben Hunter was the one to provide that impetus. Gets up to the 10-metre line now. Then a little chip into the corner. Sits up for, well, both May and Badilli, but all they can do is watch it in, and on this occasion Doncaster have got enough men to stop the Pirates doing anything cheeky.
Well, for the first time they actually got some movement there. The result of the big crash from Challoner and then Hunter taking on is allowing Heaney then just to put the ball into the corner, and they stay down in Coffin Corner. Now, can they exert some pressure on this line out? Bookie Boom's going up at 2. Good jump, good take.
Gets it down, then they come round the corner. Michael Hill's in with the big hit. Away from Day. Underneath it is Jarvis. On the run around is Moyle. It's his 70th appearance. Part of the Jack Noel, Luke Cowan, Dickey group from this club. Of course, it's the Cornish Pirates, but it's also Penzance and Newlyn RFC. Quigley managed to smuggle the ball away nicely to Duncan, who then grabs another 8 or 9 metres, and then they come off to the left again. Humberston, he's been looking for that long pass over to the left a couple of times, and he finds it to Buller-McCow this time. Danger, of course, when you go over to that flank is, do you have an isolated player? And Pirates supported by the fans on the far side as they try and ruck through. Quigley, decent enough feet for a big man.
If you want to talk to him for an hour about his feet, yes, you can do.
Little foray by Alex Day came to naught, and then it's with Duncan again. He's well brought down. Sorry, Carpenter, and then it's back with Pirates, and they put the chip through, and the chase is on. May is giving chase, but it's calmly taken down by Flockhart.
That's a lovely chip through from the captain, wasn't it? Second row, Morgan just putting his toe on it, keeping it in field. Fantastic play.
Buller-McCow wanting to attract 2 defenders. If Doncaster can do that and then get the next guy running around the corner, well, that might punch a hole in this Pirates defence, but in the meantime they've gone for an aerial option. And actually the wind just dropped for a moment there, just to fox everybody. Now it comes back, and Heaney will have another go at it. That one's right down the centre of the field. Bit of aerial ping-pong here as Jarvis decides he might try and run this one back. Hunting for the tackle was Jack Innard, did a really good job, but he's hurt himself in the process as Innard. Don't know whether it's a forearm knock.
I think he's holding his knee, actually.
Oh,
I think.
Loose ball over the top. Flockhart with it. Really good tackle from Badilli, and the ball's been wrestled away into the Pirates' hands. Lawrence May kicks into space. The chase is on. Alex Day with him. Jarvis gets across just in time. There's still some attention for the Pirates, but Buller-McCow comes through and he's got support on the inside. The ball's just been tapped back by Humberston. Still gone back. Buller-McCow is now down. Well, I know it's nearly the Grand National, but this is worrying for both sides, who've each got players down clutching themselves.
Yeah, they just littered all over the place. Buller-McCow, he likes the physical himself, but I think he got taken off the ball there. His pass inside to Humberston wasn't very good. Again, we've had a bit of kick tennis. Heaney kicking one good one. Here we go. Buller-McCow's got the call from inside us. Humberston slightly forward. There's nothing in it, is there really?
No, you've got to be committed in that area, so certainly.
To Batista, the Argentinian, making the tackle, but for me it's okay.
And Jack Innard, who gave a really good chase on Jarvis.
Yeah. Does he get his...
Young hooker. I thought it might have been an arm.
It is an arm,
shoulder.
yeah. Shoulder, arm. Well, I said knee. It's somewhere on his body, obviously, but it's a joint. Yeah, it doesn't look too good. I don't. There you go. He's a big, strong lad.
Oh,
Truro born.
He's got his arm in a makeshift shirty sling. I don't think that's the official brand name, but it looks like it's going to be the last contribution we see from 21-year-old Jack Innard.
Well, he's walking off, which is good, but his arm obviously is not too good. But the medics are on straight away, as they ever are, taking the best procedure. But Bullen Macau, who normally likes, like I said, to give pain out, is still down.
Well, it's going to be both Andrew brothers for the rest of this game, because Jack Andrew comes on, making his 90th appearance for the Pirates, joined in 2013 from Plymouth. It was just actually as older brother Paul went to Worcester Warriors for a year.
And this is Bullen Macau from another ground side angle. There's the ball, and there's the Bosch. Does he try to wrap his arms off? I think he stopped him. He's stopped him in his tracks, but Bullen Macau was outstanding last week. A couple of tries that turned the game really in Doncaster's favour.
Well, it's also, I mean, it's a relatively standard sort of hit that you would see many centres make on other centres, yeah. and having, as you say, put in a few over his time, Bullen Macau, he's probably thinking, I can't be seen to be going off now.
I think he's just a bit embarrassed. He exposed himself and exposed his ribs, didn't he, inward as that pass went across, and De Batista thought, right, I'm having a bit of you before you have a bit of me.
1-0.
Yeah.
De Batista, the Cornish Pirates inside centre, signed for the club last year.
I think the referee's getting rewired or putting some more batteries in.
Yeah, like I say now. 1-2-1-2.
We're beginning to wonder whether this is a commentator's curse. I was on the Women's Six Nations match where Joy Neville, the referee's comms went down to the point that she had to make a mobile phone call on the touchline to the TMO in the truck.
I like it.
She said
that's being practical, isn't it?
My favourite line as she ran away from the touchline was, if he's got any further problems, get him to call me.
As long as they get the right decision in the end, isn't it? Oh dear. Yes, we've got a bit of a break here as the referee, like I said, gets replugged, rewired, or someone puts an extra battery in. It gives the players a chance to have a talk to each other, see where things are going right, things are going wrong. It hasn't been the most seamless of games, I would say. Because of the windy conditions, but really somebody needs to grab hold of this from both sides. Just one try in it at the moment. Doncaster, they see this as a game they have to win, or would like to win. Pirates have to win it. It is a must-win game. And at the moment, you can see that message has been put in through the coaches to the players.
It's the voice of Dowie Morris. My name's Nick Heath, and we hope you're enjoying our coverage of this Greene King IPA Championship match, wherever you are tuning in. Here at Mennaye Field, Cornish Pirates leading by 7-0 through a penalty try as they tried to maul it in from 5 metres out. Referee Matthew O'Grady quite clear that he wasn't going to stand for much of it, and they get another good roll on here. Well, it's just overcooking slightly.
Well, we like to see that. Front rows squaring off against each other, because again they've thrown the gauntlet down at the Pirates and they've just marched Doncaster back, and that's what happened. It's a bit of pride. They don't like it. It's at Duncan's feet. You've got Day in charge, just shouting, keep it going, and the referee's got the penalty up. He's not going to go for touch, goes into the corner, and that's a good couple of minutes from the Pirates.
Well, we talked at the beginning of the match about how much it could be a game of two halves. It will be interesting to see second half whether we are continually looking to our left-hand side as to whether that is where the player's likely to be. But in the meantime, Bukaboon takes it down. It's Pirates who are in control of it here again. There was Doncaster Knight on the floor, and that little speed bump in the shape of Ben Hunter has just caused a bit of an issue for Pirates to roll that one any further. So now it'll be taken on by Andrew. And they've taken a few players over to the short side here, and there might be an option of a long pass on for Max Badilli, and he's in at the corner. The referee is just consulting. No, he's happy to give it straight away. They put the numbers in there just in time, and the pass was inch perfect for the winger Badilli.
Another Truro Braun lad, again dual register with Exeter, and that's how to finish. They did superbly well from a line-out that was brought down, and it was well played from Doncaster, well defended. They couldn't get the rattle on, but they didn't panic the Pirates. They went through a couple more phases. Alex Day pulled the trigger, then bringing the ball back onto the blind side. Then Lawrence May then with a big loopy pass straight to Bodily, and that's the second score. Well taken. There you go. You see, they don't compete. Doncaster, they stay there until the referee says line it over. Then Hunter goes in and they go to the floor, and you think, well, that's well done from Doncaster, but they don't panic. They just recycle the ball. Goes a couple of phases in field, and by going in field they expose the left hand side, and the result's a try. And now May make it another two. This will be a hard kick. He's going to start it. That floodlight is.
Oh, it could be a great effort. It was coming round, but again, just the strength of that wind stopping it short. Well, Cornish Pirates will be pleased with how things are looking on the scoreboard, leading by 12 points to 0.
That's a great start, and they've just taken their opportunities, isn't it? You get down into territory, you get down in the 22s, you come away with points.
Good bounce on the first receive from Duncan.
And for me, Nick, they've always seemed to exit very, very well. They don't panic, they just go through the procedures, go through the structures, and then put the pressure back on the Knights, in a sense. This is going to go back to May again. Or will Day fancy a box? Probably a box.
Yeah, I think it's going from the scrum half himself, and it hangs high, starts to drift towards the touchline again, and they will have the line out. He was... Well, there's a bit of consternation. I thought he might have been inside his 22. Referee's happy enough that he was, but the Doncaster Knights are trying to sell the idea that he was outside.
Yeah, well, it's good communication from the touch judge and the referee. O'Grady's not messing around in anything today whatsoever with his line penalty tries or whatever. Chatting to me, well, you do it in a nice term, or you're going back 10 metres. So yeah, make a decision, stick to it. But again, all of a sudden with that one box, they've made again, what, 30 yards, and it's up to Doncaster now to try and fight their way back into this game.
Carpenter took it at the back, and then it was quickly down off the top foot. Lloyd Hayes, who came screaming in, just lost his footing at the crucial moment as Jack Ram now takes it on. The Tongan, who we haven't seen too much of so far in this first half.
Very quiet. I mean, I give him a big rap at last weekend, and he did play well.
Decent stepping there from Flockhart, and Flockhart's got an option on the outside, but Lewis has knocked it forwards, and we will come back. There was an advantage being played.
And the twice Doncaster looked really dangerous is it giving it to Lloyd Hayes, coming back on the ball at 12. It's the old traditional, not too flashy, but you get over the gain line, you can take then a sighter off him, and coming around, and that time unfortunately Flockhart coming off his right wing onto the left to help Tyson Lewis. Lewis just going in front of the ball a little bit. But the result, they come back for the pen, and now they're back into this corner. They really have to get something on the board, and it's a great time to do it, what with coming into the last 10 minutes of this half.
Yes, one of these visits has to pay off for Doncaster Knights soon. As Darry Morris says, they've got the weaponry in the likes of Hayes, Buller McCow, Flockhart as well. We've seen Humberston fizzing out the long passes. The ball comes down off the top of the line. Quigley in at first receiver, comes straight up the centre, takes two with him as he tends to do, then another quick pick. They've only got Michael Hills loitering out on this right side, so it's fairly clear Doncaster go left, which they do. Challoner that time. They've got options left and right now, and it's Humberston who takes it left but thinks the options are right. So then it's Hayes, and he's gone for a really long pass to Flockhart out on the right, but as that ball goes forward, the referee's going to bring them back for a penalty.
Yeah, again, they knew they were on an open play. They're going to take three, get on the board. It's just what they need to do. At least they're back up to 15 now. Young's back on after his yellow card. And he has been very quiet, Jack Ram. But he did make a break there. Flockhart won't miss this one. So at least they'll have something to the changing rooms. But they haven't been performing well, Doncaster. They just haven't had any momentum with the ball in hand. That's something they did last week. And like I said many times, I think they're a much better side when they're playing off the cuff type rugby. They almost switch on, and then everything's up. Whether the pressure probably may have got to them a little bit. This is a game they see that they have to win. We will see, but at least this may calm the nerves a little bit.
160 points so far this season then for Dougie Flockhart. Those will be three of the more straightforward ones, even with this wind. 32-year-old slotting Doncaster Knights at first points on the board. Played over 180 games for the club, and where he was trying to collect the ball to put in a 5-pointer, well, he slotted 3, and Doncaster onto the board. Cornish Pirates 12, Doncaster Knights 3. Restart is coming. Lawrence May. Badilli was trying to get through a crowd of players to get there, but Matt Challoner was stood there like a bouncer at the front of the club saying, "You're not coming through while we receive this, thank you."
And then gave it his mate Carpenter to do the hard yards.
Yeah.
Good play. Very intelligent from the second row.
Chip forward, gathered on the run from Toby May. Day. Now they come out the back for Lawrence May. And then stepping in from that right wing. Oh, that's brilliant feet from Kyle Moyle. And is Moyle going to go all the way into the corner? Oh, relatively unchallenged, it has to be said. Brilliant from Moyle.
Super finish. Long serving. I think he's in his 6th season here, man. He won't score any better than that. Played when they were the Cornish All Blacks. That is the way to finish. I think Bullen Macau slipped actually out of his line. As it comes here, it's good positional play. You can just see Bullen Macau. Yeah, the combination of 10 and 12, and it's lovely footwork. Straight through the gaps. As soon as Cornish Pirates have been hit by 3, they come back with 5, and that's the way to do it. React, and really that was a soft try to concede from Doncaster Knights, falling off tackles. A little bit of a mismatch or a mix-up, I should say, not mismatch in the midfield. And the result is another score. That's 3 tries. Yeah, we might see a little bit better. It's just a simple movement. That's May, and then there's the step. Oh, it's beautiful.
Steps 2 in and out, doesn't he?
Well, I think Bullen Macau slipped, and then Jack Ram got done.
Another test for May. Certainly got the distance on that one, and the flags go up. Well, not only is it beginning to look like a convincing standpoint from a Cornish Pirates point of view, but as Dawie Morris says, it's the 3rd try that goes down, and we're still in the first half.
Well, Alan Paver did say must win, and actually must win with a bonus, really. So yes, so they've done not the second job. They're in the lead at the moment, so that would be 4 points if the score stayed the same. But no, they want more, and I think there will be more.
Alex Day. There's not too much guard on the blind side, but he didn't need it. Bit of communication from Doncaster, and the shout from Paul Jarvis was well heeded by his teammates.
I think the 215s are playing well, aren't they? May, obviously, for the Pirates, and Jarvis is catching everything that's well, chucked in his way, because it's either going long or going short.
It's one of those days where fullbacks are going to be given their sternest tests. How well can they match up to them? Yes, both acquitting themselves well. Bullen Macau ready for that first man and ball hit. Got himself low as soon as he received it. Now Heaney, he's just had that taken out of his hands, but advantage will bring Doncaster back for the penalty. Heaney's having a constant conversation with the referee.
Yeah, things aren't going well. You're trying to, pick at the referee, trying to get it on your side. Humberston, again, kicking for the corner, but Pryor, that's a beauty, absolute beauty on the button. But before that, I think you just want to be just calm. The game hasn't gone away from you too much so far that they're trying to check out these loopy passes, so an interception could be on the hand, and that's what the penalty was given for, because the Pirates were offside. They're trying to rush up.
Well, certainly a score now for the Doncaster Knights would keep them feeling much happier going into the break. Taken at the front, they're going to try and get a rumble of their own on. There aren't too many people challenging it for the Pirates to begin with, but the ball is on the floor, and plenty of protests to the assistant about what they think the answer should be.
Well, O'Grady doesn't normally mess about on that first penalty try for the Pirates. They give him one chance. Had a chat with the touch judge. Results are bad. Well, they'll go into the corner again.
Humberston to do the job.
Well, what happened there? Have I missed something?
Yeah, no one kicked it, but we have a line out. Answers on a postcard. Okay.
Okay, it's a 5-metre line anyway.
Taken at the back, quickly shifted through the hands from Doncaster. It went from Carpenter to Challoner, but it's going to have to be Heaney who pops it up. Buller Macau on the run. Oh, sorry. They've started piling numbers down the right-hand side here, Doncaster, but they're still going. Heaney again. Jack Ram helping try and get it ever closer. Doncaster stopped short again by the Pirates' defence. There's a penalty advantage coming. Lloyd Hayes is screaming for it, but we're going to have a yellow card.
I think that's what they were playing for. Jarvis has come into the back line here, and he was absolutely screaming for the ball. And I was just about to say, you've got to be absolutely sure when that ball comes out. So it's a double bubble, really. It's Duncan goes off, the big, powerful number 8. Now, what do? I'd go for a scrum, personally. Oh, you don't see this very often. Quick, it's not a quick tap penalty, it's a set move penalty.
It's as close to a flying wedge as you're ever going to see.
Indeed. Wall ball.
Indeed.
They've done it well. They've got it to the back. They rumble forward.
They've got another penalty if they want as well, so it's another free shot for Doncaster. I think they're going to need it because that one's gone to ground and Pirates have burgled it and ball's been hacked away. That's not particularly helping anybody.
No, but what's the time? Now here's the replay from here. That's Young going in. They set it up well, going for the line, and like I said, Jarvis was screaming for the ball. Duncan is just somewhere there. He must be underneath. Again, it's very difficult to see what the referee's seen, but it was obviously serious enough to award him 10 minutes in the bin, and they go forward again from another tap and go.
Well, they've got to be wary about how many people they leave on the field if they try and stop this maul illegally.
Oh, this has to go over. Base of the post will do.
Players go down. Referee's arm goes up. It is a try for Doncaster Knights, and in a position where we could be looking at a half-time score with just 9 points between the sides with the conversion. Yeah,
9-point game on, big style. Again, the win really is an advantage to either side, actually, so it's even. Stevens coming into the next 40. What have we got? Well, 40 seconds, so basically that'll be about it. So they are digging their way back into this game, Doncaster Knights, and doing it with the old traditional way, using the plodders up front to do the job, and total in charge. Heaney's at the back. I think it's Hunter that eventually goes over and scores the try, but it was well marshalled by the guys in front. This will be another 2, and that'll be half-time.
Well, indeed, that is exactly the place where we will see the last play of the first half. It's Flockhart who adds the conversion, and it gives us a half-time score of Cornish Pirates 19, Doncaster Knights 10. And, well, Dowie, that was exactly what the doctor ordered as far as Cornish Pirates were concerned, but Doncaster eventually finding their way to the line.
They just took every opportunity, didn't they? They're 3 tries up, they're just 1 more try away from a bonus. But true to form, Doncaster Knights, they haven't panicked. They've got a lot of experience out there. You can see the messages were coming on from the coaches. All we need to do is get a bit of territory. They got a bit of territory. They didn't panic, and they used their forwards. Like any good side, go to your forwards, keep it tight, and then see if they can make the difference. And then that try right at the end with that penalty, a 9-point game, converted try and a penalty, and they've won it. So it's very much in the mix. But again, I've got to say, Pirates very, very good, very, very clinical early on in the game with their tries.
You can see on our beautiful wide shot that just the sea over in the right-hand corner, and the wind blowing. And as you said, Dowie, the conditions will play a part, and they have opted to play it with those up front, you know, the forwards and doing the up the jumper stuff, because that's pretty much what the day's decreed is worth doing.
Forwards win your games, backs by how many? It's the old adage, but actually, cliche after cliche, but that's true. And the forwards will win you this game. You're not going to be able to throw it around willy-nilly. You know, your sort of tens, your fly halves are finding it hard to position the ball into the corners. I'll be in there later. Can't wait.
Excellent little refresher. Well, let's have a look at the story of the first half then. And well, this was where referee Mr. O'Grady had quite enough.
And again, I admire referees. Obviously, he hasn't got any TMO down, even though we're doing the commentary for the feed, but there's no TMO, so he has to make that decision. But rather than getting 3 or 4 resets, and then, you know, I know referee, I'm not sure. No, he's seen something. It's Young's that obviously brought it down. He had 10 minutes in the bin, so it got worse for Doncaster. But if a referee sees a professional foul 5 meters out from the line that was going to be able to score, well, you know, he's made the right call. So under the post is easier, because obviously with the wind they may have struggled to get the 7, they didn't. And Young is in there somewhere. Again, his difficult areas with the headband. You know, you can just see there, he's folding and he's wobbled in. He's on his all haunches. He's brought everything down. He's the start of the problem. The referee, aided by the touch judge, seeing that. That's it. Penalty try.
Yeah, referee O'Grady, who was tested on a maul just before that, wasn't it? It was just, there was a slightly longer one out where he gave a previous penalty, and then this one, clearly he'd warned the players.
Well, if you just watch number 5 there, right at the back with the headband, there you go. You can't miss a 6'5" second row anyway, and he's trying to make it sure. Oh, did I really slip over? Yeah, you did. The ref's seen it and he's off. Oh dear.
Well, that was our first try that set Cornish Pirates on their way. And then again, it all started from the line out.
And what I liked about it, again, Doncaster, they tried to be cute, which they were, and they backed off the line out, and then Hunter, the hooker, went back in to stop that. But what happens now is the communication between forwards and backs, led by, you've got to say, the likes of Day at 9. The call comes then from May at 10, and that's when you put a bullet pass in. And because they're down, you know, to 14 guys, there's one extra guy off, bodily where he should be, catches the ball, and it's an easy score for him. Lovely pass. And he won't score many easier.
So we had the penalty then from Dougie Flockhart just to tighten things up. 9-point game at that stage, but then Kyle Moyle with a little bit of footwork that put one man on the deck and he stepped round the other.
This is a lovely try. Yeah, Bullet Macau doesn't cover himself in glory, but he slips, and but he does ram inside. Again, a superb finish, an absolute superb finish from Moyle. This is the way to finish. Yeah, right, you get a little bit of luck, but that's a lot of skill as well. You know, you've been given your chance to get through the line. You think Ram's coming across, and actually with his quick feet has just stopped the big Tongan falling to the floor, and that was it. That's how to hurt sides very quickly after getting the 3 points put back against you.
As part of playing in that group with Luke Cowan-Dickey and a certain Jack Knoll, Mr. Knoll would have been proud of that footwork himself from their time at Newland and Penzance.
That's right, and again, it's good to see, you know, guys taking their chances and taking it well.
So 17 points to 3 at that stage, and Cornish Pirates were purring very, very nicely. But Doncaster Knights, after a few forays into the 22, finally managed to make it pay, and this was after, of course, Pirates were down to 14.
That's right, Duncan off a couple of minutes before this. They went for 2 set moves off a penalty. You think they go for a scrum? No, they try to set them all up on 2 occasions. This time it actually worked, and I think it's Hunter. Hunter's at the back with the cap on. Heaney's trying to push him over. He's probably getting in the way, the scrum half more. Get off me, he's shouting. But again, it's the big boys up front that's done the job, and it's the big boys from Doncaster that got them back in with a chance of coming back into this game and winning it. This is exactly what they need going into half-time. Clive Griffiths will not be a happy man, but he'll be happier seeing that try scored.
Yes, he certainly will be. Well, we'll have the second half for you coming up in just a moment. Pop the kettle on. It's 40 minutes of fantastic stuff down here at Mennaye Field to come. Well, welcome back to Mennaye Field as the Doncaster Knights come out for the second half, trailing as they do by 9 points, down by 19 points to 10 at the start of this second half, and the Cornish Pirates there just waiting to come out as well. Hope you're enjoying our live streaming coverage on the England Rugby Facebook page and wherever you are tuning in to catch this Greene King IPA Championship Round 20 match. My name's Nick Heath, and alongside me, Dowie Morris. And well, Dowie, I imagine the advice at half-time for the Pirates was more of the same.
Absolutely. Again, there is a swirling wind. Again, we're not quite sure who it's helping, but they've got on and they've got to get on with it. And a few mistakes really from Doncaster Knights. Flockhart been caught in a wreck for one of the tries, and equally a brilliant try from Kyle Moyle. So they've been hit, Doncaster Knights, and I'm expecting big things in this next 40. And like I said many times, they're a much better side playing with the ball in hand and playing with it with pace. So I think that's the message from Clive Griffiths at half-time. Pirates exactly the same. Take your opportunities, get stuck in.
Humberston with the restart then, and it's gathered in by Dan Lee, who just twists his way to ground, and Alex Day pops it up. Jack Andrew with it. Day wants to try and test Jarvis again, who has a little juggle but gets hold of it, and then through Humberston, and now Flockhart. 5 points to his boot from the first half, a penalty and a conversion, and then with a little offload into the chest, as Doncaster try and keep it alive into the contact. There again, Day goes down the short side this time through Ram, and then Humberston, who, if it wasn't for the 10 on his back, you could easily confuse for another back rower, such as his stocky frame. Quigley. Oh, he's had the ball wrestled in the tackle, and this is a good position for Pirates to try and launch something. Bukaboom with, well, an attempted little chip through from a second row.
Well, it was the Kiwi Walker, I think, that nicked it off Colin Quigley. I'll be talking about that one in the bar after.
Ball's just come forward.
It's the story of the day, really, Nick, isn't it? It's just that one chance that Doncaster are trying to create, and they're not getting it. They're forcing the hand at the moment. And there's Quigley, the big Scot, going forward, and it's the Kiwi. It is. It gets the ball off him, and they think, right, they're on you. Turnover ball, the best type of ball ever. And then the second row chipping through. Not good, really.
No, not quite.
Leave that to the 10s and the 9s and anyone who can do it.
Marlon Walker, who was fast approaching his 60th appearance. This is 59th, the Kiwi prop, signed in January 2015. It was initially a short-term contract from Western Supermare, but he's had anything but a Western Super since then. Continuing his role with the Cornish Pirates. Now then, Alex Day, as that turns, referee just going to have it reset.
Yeah, you don't want to annoy the referee today, Mr. O'Grady. He's very precise in everything he does, and I like it. As long as we only get one more reset. It's like pulling teeth sometimes.
Famous last words. We're just going to shift the exact point at where we're scrummaging to give the studs and the turf a chance to bond. We are beginning to get down. Walker, incidentally, has moved into the hooking position. Worth noting that since Jack Andrew came onto the field towards the end of that first half.
Leonard went off injured, didn't he? The hooker sort of carrying his arm in that first half. There is a free kick now. They'll go quick with this one.
Of course, they're without Tom Duncan in the back row as well, and Nick de Batista is in there helping. And then it's Bukaboom. Just outside the 22, middle of the field. They've got options to the right through Danley and Batista, but they opt to go to the left, and well, there is going to be a penalty for that little high tackle. It was just a little slip and then down, but they've gone quickly through Day, and then he's picked in the tackle. Referee says there's nothing doing there, so we are all square in terms of advantages and penalties given. There's been a call off the ball by Kyle Moyle just out of your picture down to the near side, but Pirates with urgency to suggest, the Knights with the urgency to suggest they might have turned it over, but it's still with the Pirates. But good defence from Doncaster as they push the Pirates back in the tackle. Now they come round the back, and May has flooded round from the left, but he doesn't want to get isolated. Day again. They almost both got caught in the same channel there. Boom. Chris Morgan and De Battista nearly colliding. Oh, and then a gap opens up for Jack Andrew. Trundling through the middle. And then Jack Ram comes round. The referee, I think, happy enough that he's got back on side. The chip through. Who wants to finish it is the biggest question, because there were three of them there. It was Kyle Moyle who got the finish in the end.
Beautifully worked, absolutely beautifully worked. There's a shot at me then, was there? Careful. That's his second score, but more importantly, that's the Pirates' fourth try. What a break from Walker. Andrew, I apologise. And then it's just recycles out the back. May puts his toe on it, and he's just through. Simple. That's the way to do it. That's the way to beat almost a rush defence.
Shout had to be clear as three of them went in for that. It's an excellent conversion from Lawrence May, and it is crucially, of course, the fourth try as well. So if Cornish Pirates can keep their noses in front, which they so far look like doing, they could be going all the way.
Absolutely. That's salt in the wounds with a conversion. A great break, and get my Andrews and my Walkers mixed up, but that's not Paul Andrew, that's Jack Andrew taking the ball, and that's the bob through, and that's the try from Moyle. Superbly done, superbly worked, great communication and great skill.
Restart taken by Aaron Carpenter, who's on a bit of a run here. Decent from the 34-year-old number 8 Canadian international. There's an advantage being played to the Pirates here.
3 scores now, isn't it? 2 converted tries and a penalty just to get to nudge ahead. That's the pressure and the points that the Pirates have been putting on Doncaster. They just don't see themselves this afternoon. Doncaster Knights just dropping ball. No one making any incisive breaks, really. No one making a difference. Apart from that one rumbling score at the end of the first half, they've really struggled. But credit to the Pirates. Like I said, they've carried the game. Down still to 13 men, you wouldn't think so. But the versatility of this pack, like you say, Walker's able to go into the hooking role. The 2 Andrew brothers are on. There's a commitment all around. It's nice to see. And they have played some great rugby and got a bonus point, so they're at the moment 5 points in the bag if the score stays the same, and that's exactly what they wanted coming into the game. Give them some chance coming into the latter stages. They've got, is it Bedford and Richmond to play? I think off the top of my head, I'm not sure which one's home or which one's away, but they are achievable. Away to Richmond, home to Bedford, so you know, at least they've given themselves a chance if they carry on to win this game. If Watson maybes.
Shot starts to come on from Doncaster. 2 front rows go down. Penalty, Cornish Pirates. Richard List is not particularly happy there, is he?
Look, mate, you've got 2 guys on there, Quigley and List, who know how to scrimmage. They've both been played in the Pro Deux. Bezier for Quigley and Narbon for List. Hunter's a good scrummaging guy. It just hasn't worked today. And then that's credit, I think, to Andrew. Again, on this tight head side, it looked like List had sort of caved in, but the result doesn't matter. The refs made this. Look again, the result. They're just building this pressure. They're plodding to the corner. The communication there. Chris Morgan as ever calling the shots, and that's at their pace, isn't it? And they play like this, and all of a sudden, boom, off they go.
Well, will they be going from this line out? It doesn't quite work out for them, and it's nudged forward, but referee O'Grady not happy. I think we might be having this line out again. wasn't one of these mysterious lineouts that came from an invisible kick that we had in the first half.
I'm going to have to see that back, actually.
Still don't know what happened there, do we?
Because he didn't kick for the corner, and it's just the hooker received the ball, but it was a penalty. Wait, did he opt for the? Could he go opt for the line out again? I'm just thinking off the top of my head. Pass.
No change.
We'll leave it.
No change from me on that, Joey.
Anyway, they're back up now to 15. The big fella's back on. Duncan. He won't mind that, as he's been his way. Bonus point try scored. Thanks very much, lads. 2 sugars.
Yeah.
Cream cake, pasty. Fantastic.
Top try scorer this season for the Pirates, Tom Duncan. Joined them in December 2012.
Another Truro boy. You know, they do bring the talent through, don't they? And that's why, again, the dream is to have this stadium built. And, you know, we say it all the time, and I hope they do. I really do, because it's a fantastic hotbed of good, talented youngsters and rugby players down here. Oh.
Penalty, Doncaster.
Does anyone know? Does anyone know what's going on in these scrummages? Because 1 minute you're giving penalties away early. 1 minute you're giving a penalty away, obviously, from the Doncaster side for leaning in. The next minute it's gone the other way.
It was time for Yorkshire to get that rub of the green. And again, the referee's just having to insist on order, but the changes are beginning to be made. And Rich List will conclude his afternoon.
Well, if you want a bit of an impact, Joe Sproston's come on as well at about 6'3" and 160, 150k. There he is, number 18. He is a unit, so you had a bit of carrying there. Clive has just played the dice a little bit.
And Jack O'Manus is on as well. So the changes start to be run. O'Manus with the club 5 years. Sproston 26 next month. He scored 9 tries in 20 appearances during his time at Ampthill, so he knows his way to the try line. Dislocated his shoulder away at Rotherham in October, so came back via the bench against Nottingham in February.
Well, he said it back scoring tries, he can play number 8 as well. So when he comes off the back of that scrum, watch out. At the moment, he's in his right position, getting pushed back, unfortunately. That's a great scrum for the Pirates.
And certainly gone down well with the Pirates faithful here at Mennaye Field as well.
It would seem to me that Paul Andrew is having an absolute hoolie of a day at tight head prop. His brother's on the other side, but he's actually doing the damage, I think.
Yes, it's looking that way. He's getting the praise from his teammates, isn't he?
Had a bit of experience at Worcester, didn't quite work out. Said, right, I'll come back. And he's enjoying it, you can see that. Well, any prop going forward is a happy prop.
He's thinking about another ale being lined up on the bar for each of these penalties he's winning. Ball comes down from the front from Doncaster, but they close the gap too early, so it'll be a free kick to the Pirates.
They'll go for a scrum then. They're going to opt for a line out for a scrum, and on the evidence of that last play, that's what I'd think. Yep.
Well, they're in no rush to take any quick free kicks or up the tempo, because they're comfortably in the lead. They've got the 4th try bonus point, provided they well, they've got the 4 try bonus, but of course they would like the other 4 that go with the victory, but that looks relatively secure at this stage with just under half an hour to play.
And you would think if they can convert something from your take 3, and if it's a try, I think that's good by Doncaster. I don't like to say that too early, with not even into the last quarter. There's a lot of talent in this Doncaster side, but it's just the way they've just had a little apathy this afternoon, and the Pirates have really just cranked it up. They've just got stronger and stronger.
Day is chatting away to Duncan at the back there. They've
penalty.
Got the arm out from the referee, so they're going to get the chance to have a shot, and well, Lawrence May juggled it immediately, so referee's whistle is blown, and well, Doncaster Knights will know that they're in a dangerous point again in this area of the field, with Cornish Pirates calling the shots in the way they did in the first. They got a penalty try in the opening quarter of the match, the Pirates, but well, they've just decided to keep the scoreboard ticking over on this occasion.
We'll take it at 3, and you can see the scrum, the communication you talked about, Nick, is there. And actually, Cusack has just come on. He knows that May's going to get the ball. He's up in his eye line. May doesn't quite take it. The result is there. It's a play to nothing, but the actual result is another chance of 3 points. That puts him up to 19 ahead. The clock is Pirates' friends. It's not Doncaster's if he can nail this one. He's been pretty good. He knows this field very well, and he must know the conditions, obviously playing down here week in, week out.
Yeah, Lawrence May then to add another 3 to the Pirates' tally. Struck it perfectly, stayed relatively straight and true as well in the end. Cornish Pirates up to 29, Doncaster Knights on 10.
Wind? What wind? Absolutely super strike. Super sharp strike of the ball right through the uprights. That's, as I said, another 3 points ahead. That's how you do it. Now, Doncaster Knights, you need to have a good look at yourselves. Is there going to be a response? There has to be. They're offloading the bench. Clive's throwing them all on at the moment. Right, they've got 20 or so minutes to try and get something out of this game.
Ball well taken from the restart from the skipper Morgan for the Pirates. Day fires it out to the left through May. And they step back in field. Doncaster Knights going a little high in the tackle in terms of standing up rather than getting too low. They're calling for numbers over on the open side. The ball squirts out and Alex Day's got to jump on it before he can do anything about getting it away. And then they come round the corner. Scragged in the tackle. Plenty of pressure from Andy Buller-Macau, double try scorer last week, but hasn't looked quite as dangerous this week. Hasn't had as much ball, frankly. Pirates with it.
I think Dan Lee's carried very well the open side. Again, he's a big rangy 7, but gets over the ball, but also does a lot of hard work, good grafting work.
Jarvis wasn't held, so gets back to his feet. Heaney. Wants Glenn Young to do the carry. Cusack, new man onto the field. And then it was popped off the floor, but it was popped forward from Dave Nelson.
Yeah, it's again a good initial carry. Heaney looks to the blind side. At one point, there's nothing on. Hits his man, and unfortunately, yeah, Nelson just forward. Nothing's going right, is it, for Doncaster? They are trying to break through the holes. They're trying to get their arms out. They're trying to get those offloads going, which is part and parcel of any side, but especially the Knights. It's just not worked this afternoon.
Not quite, just simple handling error there from Nelson. Dual registered with the Falcons. Played a bit of European Rugby Challenge Cup in his time. Cornish Pirates 29, Doncaster Knights 10 in the Greene King IPA Championship round 20 game. If you take a look at the Greene King IPA Championship table, you might not find it easy to know that it's the round 20th game, because it doesn't say they've all played 20, because London Welsh have dropped out and there's
yeah, it's sponged, isn't it? It's not the word I'm looking for.
Yeah,
everything that happened just doesn't get eviscerated off the thing. But unfortunately, some teams have played against them. Anyway, yeah. Doesn't matter.
Didn't Chris Martin's relationship get expunged? Was that what they said once? Not quite sure. Anyway, either way, 11 teams remain in the Greene King IPA Championship, and both of these sides have their sights set on involvement in the playoffs. Cornish Pirates, if they want to remain involved at that end of the table, need the 5-point win today, and they're certainly well on course for that currently as they come forward to the 22 again. But just as I say that, the ball comes forward and Doncaster Knights will have possession.
I think it was the younger Andrew, wasn't it, just getting his lines mixed up. But this is what the Knights have to do now. They have to play with a ferocity, really, and try and outdo the Pirates.
Cusack had to keep it in field because They had passed the ball back into the 22, and then the ball is just nudged downfield from May, and Cusack has, well, he's taken that quickly.
He's got himself in all sorts of trouble, that's what he's done.
I was watching the assistant referee, who I thought was going to flag to the referee that the quick one hadn't been taken well, but this is quite a break from Doncaster. Joey Maximo, the young man who is dual registered with Tigers, building up a real head of steam. Now it comes out from Cusack and then Hayes. Up to the halfway line. Good running as Jarvis brings them back in field. Cusack just stutters into the tackle but finds a way through, and Macau appears on his shoulder as only he can. And then they come out the back again. Flockhart looks to the left, and they want to try and find Tyson Lewis in a bit of space. Tyson Lewis hasn't had the ball with too much room in front of him the whole game.
Well, they're gaining yardage, aren't they, from the Maximu break? That was real aggression. That's something that they've been lacking.
Cusack, Hayes thought he was in a little gap round the corner. It looked to all intents and purposes like he was, but the door was slammed.
It was that good old Cornish rush defence once more. It's just not allowing him any time on the ball. But they need their big ball carriers now. Again, Maximu going forward once again.
First runner is Young. Now it comes again for Cusack. It might open up a little bit for Jarvis. Just takes a few metres, then isn't held, but the referee already given the penalty for the Pirates, who weren't rolling away. And well, it's a decent bit of possession for Doncaster Knights. They've come down from their own 22 to visit the Pirates 22, but from this area of the field, it's this point of the game, it's probably not necessarily the right decision to take 3 points. They're going to need more than that.
Jarvis always like a jumping bean, isn't he? He's always trying to do things. He doesn't matter what size is in front of him. He thinks he can outdo him. The referee for the pen. The right result for Doncaster. The right result from Cusack into the corner. And again, as they scored that try right at the end of the first half, they really have to do something now into the last quarter.
Declan Cusack gives them the position. Can the forwards repay by getting the shove over from close range? Referee very cleanly setting his line again, getting a few shrugs from the Cornish Pirates forwards in there, but I think we're ready eventually for the ball to come in. And it goes to the back, and then they close in around it. Throw was from Nelson, and he is back on the back of that maul, which is crabbing sideways before it's got any go forward. The Pirates trying to get themselves in a legal position to defend it, but the referee's trying to now let them know who has to leave the party as the Knights get themselves set again, and now they have a penalty advantage. Jarvis is out to the left if they decide to come through the hands, but they're just going to trundle it slowly towards the line, and it's try time for the Knights, and it's...
I think it's the Canadian international, Carpenter.
Yeah. It might not have been the prettiest bit of rugby, but it's certainly effective, and it's what's needed in these conditions.
Hey, the Yorkshiremen will take that. They certainly will. They needed it. They need a response. They've got it. And Carpenter's had a good game against his old club. He's grafted hard. Again, his forwards have grafted hard. Somewhere at the back there is the Canadian international. Marshalled again by Heaney to go over. And they all count. Doesn't matter how ugly or how pretty they are. They're all 5 points. They'll take it. They needed it.
Flockhart then to continue to add to his season total. Conversion is good. Cornish Pirates 29, Doncaster Knights 17 now, as they get their second try of the game.
Lifeline, you would suggest?
Yeah, certainly a little one.
Yeah, 12.2 converted tries. It's doable. You got Tyson Lewis on the field for the Knights. He can run you a couple in very, very quickly. Macau can do that if they get some space. And there has been, I think, a reaction and impact from the bench. These youngsters coming on have gained some yards, given themselves a chance possibly to come back from whence they they didn't really have a chance. So again, the Pirates have got them deep down in the 22. They're trying to run the way out.
Yeah, Alex Shaw in the blue scrum cap, and now it's through Hayes. And Lloyd Hayes still going, and he puts the little chip in and ends up coming off a Cornish Pirate's thigh, and then Sam Edgley jumps on it, and they're going to have to get it away through Young, and oh, it's just popped out like a bar of soap. So it's now in the hands of Alex Day, who finds a bit of go forward through Lawrence May appearing on his shoulder, who gets out of the first tackle and will need support. Now it comes to the right. The skipper just managed to get away the challenging Doncaster Knights forwards, and right on the halfway line, go through the hands again into big Tom Duncan. Now the little chip over the top. That's not going to be challenged for by too many of the Cornish Pirates chasers. All they do is arrive to try and put pressure on Paul Jarvis, but his kick is taken downfield by Lawrence May, and he will try and return it again, but having come forward, Jarvis isn't quite there, but it's from Lewis to Cusack, and the crowd have a question about whether that was forward, but none of the assistant referees or referee were in line as they look at each other, so we continue to play on, and this time the little chip through comes from Jack Arnott, and that time Tyson Lewis has said, enough of this, I'm going to take the mark and the free kick and take a bit more time over this clearance.
And I don't fancy running 95 metres.
Well, he's tapped it to go, and for the clearance.
That's advantage Pirates though, isn't it?
The net value of all of that, absolutely.
And they'll just do that all day. May and Day can kick into the corners, they can kick long as they're pressing. Yeah. Get the throw in at the line out. Becky Boom gets it into the midfield, off they go again.
Indeed, off they go again. And the Pirates punching it straight up the middle, give themselves that middle of the field attack. Short a little ball. May instrumental in trying to feed his team, but then Morgan's knocked it on. So it's advantage advantage Knights. And if they can find a bit of width here, they might just have the men to put Tyson Lewis away. And Lewis then, with the feet, gets going, and he's not held in the last tackle. Decides to try and step inside the last man and needs to straighten now and let the support get there. Edgley is the first man. Penalty to Doncaster.
Well, I think the message has come on. You said the switch has been flicked in a sense. So right, this is the last roll now. Come on, and what feet from Tyson Lewis? Just watch this. Mesmerising feet. He gets and the strength to get out of the tackle, then start again. They'll go back in field. Great play from the left winger. And again, they get the reward not only from gaining, what, 15-20 metres, they get the penalty. Cusack again into the corner, and now they've got to crank it up. But they really need to just start getting the energy levels up, because they're a hell of a side, Doncaster, when they've got the ball in hand and they've got the vogue with them, in a sense.
Well, 12 points between the sides. If this little moment visitation into the Cornish Pirates territory can yield some points for them, then we really could be in for a grandstand finish. It's taken at the front. It's away through Young. Just come round the back, but then he was eventually tackled. Edgley looks off to the right. Maximu in there as well. The clearance from Bergmanis. And it's Alex Shaw. They've started to run to the left side. Cusack has run, but I think the ball, he wanted it on that previous phase, and by another carry taking place, and it's just slowed the cover down or allowed the Cornish Pirates cover to come across, rather. Michael Hills carries, but the turnover ball is for the Pirates, and they hack it downfield, but the wind ensures that it takes touch rather than stays in play.
Yeah, they can just... They're banging on the door at the moment. Now the Knights, but they just can't open it, they can't keep it open. One little turnover, one nudge of the ball onto the foot, and look, they lose all that yardage that Tyson Lewis started the movement off. And they can just see the game out doing that, can't they? You know, they've got the bonus point. It looks like they got the win unless something amazing happens from the Knights. It's up to the Knights really to make the call, and straight away that's even more good news for the Pirates.
Well, John Stevens gets his hands on the ball onto the field, of course, the youngest son of, well, a legend in these parts in Stack Stevens. Bit of off-the-ball kissing and cuddling going on, but we'll play on as the Pirates have it through Duncan. Pirates will happily play it at their pace to slow it down. May, oh, he's got through himself and makes the offload, but it's gone forwards. I dare say the pass might have been forwards even if he couldn't have handled it.
I think the pass was forward, but again, they're playing in the right areas now. The Pirates don't have to do anything more than this. There's a good pass out again from May. He just sees the gap. It's a mismatch out there. There's forwards littering the midfield. And I have to say, if you are doing that, you've got to make your tackles and make the right decisions.
Brett Bookeboom is down, getting some attention. Canadian international, made his debut for the Pirates after that Rugby World Cup in 2015. Of course, his cousin Tyson Bookeboom, she could be featuring in another Rugby World Cup, which of course is the Women's Rugby World Cup coming up in August in Ireland. Dublin and Belfast will be hosting that competition. To the last 10 minutes according to our clock, but it will be on the referee's whistle that we ultimately go. Very good of the Cornish weather to give us a free facelift up on this gantry down.
I was just going to say my hair is windswept and interesting, but I haven't got any hair. Yeah, it's not stopped blowing all day, but the faithful have come out and they've been rewarded by a good performance from the Pirates. Hendrickson has marshalled it well in the midfield to Batista as well. I think there's been a good link there with May and those two centres. They've kept it honest right in the midfield. They've not allowed really to Doncaster to break through. Hayes has tried a couple of times, and that's about the only times for me that Doncaster have looked like doing anything on that recycling of quick ball, and that's what they thrive on, and that's what they haven't had today.
It's the voice of Dowie Morris as we bring you this live streaming coverage of the Greene King IPA Championship.
A windswept and interesting Dowie Morris.
Of course, sorry. Your new title in these parts.
Arr. I love the programme, isn't it? Yeah. The Pirates, they put the R back in rugby.
That's right.
Oh, I love it.
It's a proper old ground, this.
Oh, I love it, yeah.
It is absolutely great. Oh, boom. Flocker says sit down. Edgerly, long looping pass. Jarvis took his eyes off it. He saw the onrushing Pirates defence. We'll have the scrum. And, well, Doncaster Knights needed to play their way out of danger there, and they've very much put themselves back in the mire.
And that's in almost a microcosm of the game, isn't it? They're trying to do so much good stuff, Doncaster, and then just unfortunately the final pass or decision or whatever has just not happened for them this afternoon. Sometimes you have that. Now that they were outstanding last week against Yorkshire Carnegie, but for me, it's not going to be 4 on the bounce. Pirates coming into this with 3 on the losses. That 3 losses in the league. I think they're going to turn that round, as they did back up in November, didn't they? They came to Castle Park with no win out of 5, and they put a tremendous performance in there. And
yeah, Christmas and New Year then looked rosy, yeah, and January rolled on.
I think it's just, look, they've got a small squad. They've got 2 new coaches, 2 very good coaches. Gavin Cattle and Ian Payer, that they'll come in and do great things, and a lot of youngsters to work with, and they have that alliance with Exeter Chiefs down the road, obviously ex-Plymouth players as well. There's a lot of good rugby players down this end of the country.
As much for players, as much for coaches as much as players, the championship and how it can develop people.
I'll get on my soapbox again as well, and everyone talking about ring fence. Well, that's gone now, and the play, well, whatever. But where do coaches cut their teeth? And where do these lads learn to do that? They do it in the championship. It's a fantastic grounding of not only players getting a chance to go up and play in the Premiership, but also coaches. They've got to have places to go, and it's a good standard.
Well, the free kick from the scrum has resulted in a scrum. That's all we have to report in the last 2 minutes.
I think Mr. Andrew has decided, and that's Paul, his brother, is on the other side. I think they're just quite liking it. It's a family day out, this. It's a picnic on the beach.
Absolutely.
And why wouldn't you? The clock's ticking down, just 7 or so minutes to go. loads of points ahead. It's a lovely, tantalising blindside, isn't it, down here?
Well, Doncaster have got 2 men marshalling it, but Jack Arnott would still fancy his chances if it broke this way, but instead it's going to be May, and he pops it infield for Toby May. It was intended to be a May-to-May combo. Well, the fullback just, well, caught the ball on his shoulder, and then in fact it ended up in a Pirates' hand in front of the ball, so it results in an offside penalty, and Dec Cusack can kick the ball towards our commentary position, and the Pirates will have a line out on the 10-metre line.
So let's get this right. It was a day to May, not to beat there.
Very good.
That's where it all starts. And there's day, and there's May, and there's the May that never was. Good move. Again, they've
exposed that one now. They can't use it.
But everything's happening quite happily. Holefields is on. There's the big second row, number 18. He played in the Six Nations under-20. He's a great prospect, he is, I tell you.
Doncaster Knights have contrived to lose the line out. All the pressure in the world. And Cornish Pirates have come onto it well, spoiling at the line out, winning the possession, and now Day will play back to the right. Big hit in the middle on John Stevens. Now it's away for Lawrence May, and then it's Jack Andrew.
He's the bigger version, isn't it? The younger son's the younger brother normally always is, isn't it?
Yeah, De Batista with the carry. Saw him a little bit more physically in that first half. Then Marlon Walker, the Kiwi, then a little chip through, and they closed the door in midfield a little as the runners tried to come through there. Tackle was made on Tyson Lewis. He didn't get the chance to touch it down, did he? Oh, that's the simplest decision for the assistant referee to make, shall we say.
Lovely little chip over the top from May, wasn't it? I think those two centres were in front. It doesn't really matter. Tyson Lewis is not quite there, then gets one right in the kidneys from the scrum half. Well done.
But if he's knocked that ball over the dead ball line himself.
Yeah, but I'm still worried about that line out, that throw, and we'll have to look that back in the tracks afterwards. It's going to be a long journey home for Doncaster.
Well, it will if the 22 restarts are attempted to be that cute in a wind like this, because Jack Andrew then carries on. The restart went all of about 3 metres and straight into Pirates' hands, and then Toby May with a little chip through. It might just work out on the wing, and Pirates are still chasing after it. It does eventually go into touch. It's all a little bit messy over on the far side.
I think the bus driver can start the bus up. It's going to be a long 7.5 hours or so journey for the Knights back up to Yorkshire. But they're still in the mix big times. 2 big games for them, obviously. Jersey at home, Irish at home to come, last game of the season. And Clive Griffiths talking to me last week was saying that, you know, it would be a great achievement, a bigger achievement for them to get in the top 4 with all their injuries and everything that's happened than actually getting to the final against Bristol last season. So it's still possible, it's still very doable, but I think there's going to be a few twists and turns, hopefully, as the championship always throws up.
Well, indeed. And there is that added spice, of course, without playoffs after this year, that it's almost the last roll of the dice for these clubs to have a go from this format.
Well, it's become sort of payoff instead of playoff, isn't it? Because a side like Bristol, as we watch this movement up the field,
just trying to create a bit more room down on the near side. We'll come back to our discussion of the merits of the various systems in the championship as Pirates come over the 22. Little flirt with a little snipe round the edge from Alex Day, but bouncing through the challenges. It's a pinball forwards rugby.
Well, it's one-way rugby at the moment, Nick, isn't it? And it's all black and red.
Josh Caulfield involved. Now another little dab through. It's still not terribly clean, and Tyson Lewis takes it and goes to ground. Referees decided we've not had enough scrums.
But again, it'll favour the Pirates. They're in the right area. The score is right for them. The clock is ticking, and everything's gone perfectly. I think they've been well coached this week. And a few dual registered players back, and that's made a little bit of difference, but the commitment is there, the culture is there, you can see it, and they've deserved this victory.
Doncaster, crucially, 12 points behind, would head back up north to Yorkshire with nothing.
Yeah, It's interesting, isn't it? Jersey winning yesterday. Irish, they're putting the pressure on Alex Codling's. Ealing's been fantastic.
Edgley takes the quick tap from the back of the scrum. Alex Shaw wanted to get the offload away, but can't do it if Dave Nelson's going to be a yard in front of him. Now it's from Edgley again, and Cusack. Half gap was there. If he'd have gone when it was there, he might have got through, but he saw it, stuttered, and then tried to go through it again, by which time it was well and truly shut. Edgley, then a nice little bit of footwork from Glenn Young, and then a little show and go. Who doesn't love seeing that from a big man like Jack Bergmanis? Edgley again, just outside the halfway. Really good tackle on Flockhart. Good line from Buller Macau, but he couldn't hold on to it. And then they've chipped it through. Support lines are there, and then it's a ball over the top. Oh, is this going to be the score of the game to finish it off from Lawrence May? There was improvisation every step of the way, and Cornish Pirates get over for their 5th try.
And again, Doncaster trying to playing their hearts out here, but again, it's that last decision, that last movement of the ball. This time a turnover, a kick over the top. A kick over the top, and again, a finish. Here we go. It's Tyson Lewis. Sorry, it's Buller Macau again. He hasn't had the ball very much at all. Bodley over the top. Regains it. Back inside. De Batista. And then that's a great score from the fly half, Lawrence May, in his 3rd season. Just following up was all good 10s. Waiting for the play to happen. The bounce of the ball.
Good vision from Badilli to actually start with that little chip through and get it going, wasn't it?
And then a good little offload out the back of that, and that's there's no basketball over the top to the fly half. And they'll take that, and that's 5, isn't it?
Watching that live, when that first pass started to come, I thought, well, there's no one there to receive it. And May came out of nowhere. Conversion has gone wide. Referee checks the whistle and decides that will be that. It's been a very, very solid performance from Cornish Pirates. They needed the win, but they needed the bonus point as well if they're really going to keep the pressure on the pack above them. And my goodness, haven't they done that? 5 tries to 3, and to 2, and they have ended up looking pretty comfortable with a final score of 34 points to 17. And, well, as far as Alan Paver and Gavin Cattle will be concerned, Dowie Morris, that's exactly what the doctor ordered.
Absolutely. Again, Paves in the week was saying must win with a bonus. And they've done it. They've produced a performance. They've sent the players out with a game plan, and they've actually executed it superbly well. They've taken the chances, very, very clinical. They could keep it tight when they wanted to, play it wide. The crowd are very, very happy. They've given themselves a lifeline, Richmond and Bedford to come, and now it's the twists and turns of the championship. We always see it. There's going to be plenty more of that. And again, it's a great competition, and that's why I love the playoffs. Sorry to bang on about it, but I do.
Oh, enjoy, why not? What does it do for Doncaster Knights? It's obviously not the result they wanted, but they're still in 4th.
It's within their own hands now. They've got to play Jersey, so if they play Jersey and beat Jersey, that's Jersey out of the conundrum or calculations. London Irish, then it depends what side London Irish put up there. Do they wait for the playoffs? Do they put a second team out? It's entirely up to them. I think they'll put a strong side out. They'll want to put a statement down, and it's up to the Knights. It's in their hands. Halfway through the season it wasn't, it is now.
Well, if you just joined our coverage, you can see there a full-time score at Mennaye Field of 34 points to 17 to Cornish Pirates. Here is a bit of a story of how the game unfolded. Let's look back at the tries. And, well, this was where referee Matthew O'Grady's patience was tested early in the game, making a statement and giving the penalty try.
Yeah, it seems a long time ago now. Again, it was a double bubble for Doncaster Knights. Young gets sin-binned as he folds in onto this driving wall to bring it down, and he brought it down. I think it possibly would have been scored anyway. Ref was having none of it. A very sharp, a very serious decision, and I enjoy it. This is the 2nd try. Again, Doncaster trying to be cute, not committing themselves to the line out. But the best thing for me in this one, Nick, Pirates didn't panic.
Yeah, set it up, went again, and then they got the shout from Lawrence May. to come back on the near side. And then they managed to get Max Budilli into the corner, and that was the second score. And then the third, well, so Kyle Moyle got going.
Yeah, beautiful score, wasn't it? It was a slip from Bullen Macau, and then Ram couldn't get hold of him, but a great finish from Moyle. And again, it's just one-way traffic. They did respond just before half-time. They had to respond. Pirates were down to 14 guys, and the best way to do it is go to the donkeys, go to the guys up front, and they got that score. Yeah,
Ben Hunter touching down. It was then 9 points between the teams after the boots had gone in, but then the chip through.
Superb little grubber through, wasn't it, from May. Here it comes, distribution, communication, drop it on the toe.
Kyle Moore can thank him for his second
score. No, lovely. And again, Doncaster had to come back in, and they've used the forwards. Nothing else was happening or working out wide. Again, consolation score.
Yeah. There we go. Another one getting down.
This is the final one, isn't it? Budilli over the top. Retains his kick. Little pass back over the top, bit of basketball. And May says thank you very much, and that rounds off what a very good performance the Cornish Pirates have had.
Yeah, really nice flourish to end a solid afternoon for the Cornish Pirates, and it has finished 34 points to 17 to the Cornish Pirates. 5 tries to 2, and the job done. Well, Dowie, great to have your company down here at Mennaye Field. The Greene King IPA Championship rolls on. Just a couple of rounds to go. London Irish can't be caught at the top, but certainly the excitement of the playoffs, while we still have them, is what it's all about.
Yeah, we've seen that over the years with Bristol failing on 2 occasions and finally getting up in the 3rd attempt. And I always say, look, if you're good enough, you're good enough. If you're not, you're not. All right. You know, London Irish had a wobble yesterday. I thought they'd go throughout the season winning all their games. They're a better squad actually than I think they were in the Premiership. They're well sort of coached by their guys down. They know exactly what they're doing. Everyone plays off script, but anything's possible in sport. That's why we love this competition. Well, that's why I love rugby and this competition. Doncaster will still ask a few questions. Jersey beating them yesterday are desperate to get in the playoffs. Yorkshire can't be as bad as they were the week before. You know, everything's up for grabs, and we always say it year after year. Nothing is sure or secure in this championship.
Yes, absolutely. And in terms of the teams that are in it, who are the ones that you think are the most capable of springing a surprise? Obviously, we know that Jersey have now shown that it's possible to beat London Irish. Doncaster might feel that they can go on and do that as well later on at the end of the season. So, can you see anyone springing a surprise and stopping the Exiles coming back up?
Strangely, I reckon Ealing Trailfinders are possibly the side, because Alex Godling is a nuts and bolts coach. He's a line-out nose. He was excellent at what he did, and he's everyone again plays his pattern or their pattern. They don't go off script too much, and that's what you need if you are going to try and diffuse a side like London Irish, who are very sort of Saracens light. You know, Brendan Venter came over and did a good job. He stripped everything back. It's crawl, run. You know, it's crawl, walk, run. So you do it in that area. So you do your scrums right, and then you move it, and then you do it at pace. And I think they are a good side. I think London Irish still will go back up into the Premiership. But again, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a little twist or a little turn later on in this competition. I love it.
We love a twist and we love a turn. Of course, if you've enjoyed our live streaming coverage on englandrugby.com or via the Facebook page, there's plenty more of that to come this week. We've got the NatWest Schools Cup finals. We've got a big day down at Six Ways in Worcester on Tuesday. Then we're back at Twickenham on Wednesday. There's also Bucks finals to come later in the week. So there's plenty more live rugby to enjoy here on the online channels through englandrugby.com. But that's it. The wind is still rolling in behind us. I hope someone's got a warm drink on standby for us, Dowie.
It's time for a cider and a pasty, isn't it?
I think it probably is. Thanks very much for joining us this afternoon. Congratulations to the Exeter Pirates, and we'll see you again very soon.